Hey there, welcome to today's video. My name is Teacher Chanel. If this is your first time here, if it is not, hey girl, hey. So, one of my tribe members brought up a very interesting subject, and she commented on the video that I did some months back about spiritual attacks. And she said that she felt as though people who practice the law of attraction deal with a lot of spiritual attacks. Those are not her exact words, but paraphrasing. And she said that was based on watching other people's videos where they talk about no longer practicing the law of attraction because of the, I guess, negative energy that it could open one up to. Okay, so I actually had to wait a little bit to actually record this so I wouldn't just be ranting the entire time. First of all, we all have to be careful about what creators we are watching, what spiritual creators we are watching and listening to, because a lot of people who are actually teaching spiritual practices and spirituality are actually spiritually ignorant. And so when you are spiritually ignorant, you can open yourself up to things and energies that you just aren't familiar with when you are not really educated on said subject. Okay, so what is the law of attraction? Let me Google it. Okay, let me ask Siri. Hey Siri, what is the law of attraction? So according to Wikipedia, the law of attraction is a belief that positive or negative thoughts bring positive or negative experiences into one's life. In other words, like attracts like. We have to keep in mind that the law of attraction is one of the 12 universal laws. Okay, just like the law of gravity, the law of replacement, the law of cause and effect, it's a universal law. So to say that practicing the law of attraction is evil or opens yourself up to evil energies is stupid. It's kind of like saying that the law of gravity is evil, right? Whether you practice or believe in or respect the law of gravity, it's still going to work. Okay? You can run outside and scream to the rooftops that you no longer believe in the law of gravity, and then you can charter a plane, get on said plane, jump out of said plane with no parachute, and then you tell me what happens, right? Just because you don't believe it's a thing, just because you don't intentionally practice it, doesn't mean it's not working. So if you jump out of a plane with no parachute, what do you think is going to happen? Because the law of gravity says what goes up must come down. Do you really think because you decide not to believe in or practice the law of gravity that you're just going to get stuck in the sky? That is not how it works. Okay, so practicing the law of attraction is not an evil, demonic, satanic thing. And most spiritual texts, although they don't call it the law of attraction, actually talk about the law of attraction. Ask, believe, receive. Seek, and ye shall find. Law of attraction. Right? So for people to come out and say that, oh, I was practicing the law of attraction, and all these crazy things started to happen to me, whose fault is that? don't go blaming that on a universal law, okay? Just because you started to dibble and dabble in things that you didn't really know about, you cannot blame that on a spiritual or universal principle, okay? Now, I remember last year, a lot of creators were coming out, a lot of the thought leaders on YouTube were coming out saying that they no longer, what was the title? They, something like they left, I'm gonna have to Google it, they left the new age, from new age back to Christ or something like that. Y'all remember that? And one thing that we need to realize is that, and I gotta be careful with my words, but one thing that we need to realize is that some people are being puppeteered, right? Is that a word? I think it is, but some people are being puppeteered. Now use your context clues and do with that information what you may, okay? But when we started to see a lot of the larger spiritual gurus here on YouTube start to come out, and everybody was making, it was all at the same time. Coincidence? I think not, okay? So if you are watching these types of videos and you're starting to get afraid and you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be intentionally practicing the law of attraction, because the law of attraction works whether you practice it or not, okay? Whether you intentionally practice it or not, it's still working. Manifestation simply means to make appear. There's nothing evil, malice about that word at all. It simply means to make appear. If you're watching a magic show and the magician has a hat and he shows you that there's nothing in the hat, and then he does some trick of the hand, right? And then boom, here comes a rabbit. A rabbit comes out of the hat. He manifested the rabbit, okay? He just made it appear. So I tell you guys all the time that when it comes to manifestation, you can manifest a mess or you can manifest a miracle, okay? Whatever is going on in your head subconsciously is going to manifest, good or bad, okay? Just like you can say, oh, I am intentionally going to manifest this house, and you start journaling and you start to do all of the things that you normally do when you're trying to manifest a particular thing, right? And let's say it's a house and you're doing all of your work, and then some time passes and boom, you have the keys to your house, right? You can also worry yourself sick. Worry is a form of meditation. Anytime you are focused on something for any duration of time, that is a form of meditation. So when we talk about worrying yourself sick, you can literally worry and stress about a thing, not being able to pay your bills or whatever it is, and then what manifests, what appears out of that intentional focus on being worried is disease, right? It's illness, it's sickness, right? It's just being tired and lethargic. That's what worrying yourself sick means, okay? So you manifested, made appear, because you were healthy, you were vibrant, you had a lot of energy, and then you started to worry, okay? And then boom, you manifested illness, sickness, disease, right? So because people think that the law of attraction and manifestation is synonymous with only positive outcomes, people go into this whole spiritual walk with the wrong intentions. So the intention is to be, become a millionaire and have all of these material things, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a flip side, okay? So when you want to manifest on a greater level, okay, when you want to intentionally manifest on a greater level, what you're going to have to do is get rid of baggage, okay, trauma, okay, whether it's from this lifetime or a previous lifetime, you're going to have to get rid of the baggage, okay, and the baggage is tied around your ankles and it is weighing you down, okay, so it is not allowing you to align with, elevate, vibrate higher, and align with your actual desires. So you have to purge, you have to do some work that gets rid of that baggage, because as long as that baggage is there, this is for the people who say, oh, I've been doing the work and I can't seem to manifest. It's not working. The work, sis, the work ain't working, okay? It's because you still have baggage tethered to your ankles, all right? So I want you guys to think about an airplane and think about Aaliyah. Y'all remember Aaliyah? And what happened with their airplane is allegedly, it had too much baggage. The weight was too heavy, so the plane could not reach altitude, right? The excess baggage was weighing the plane down, which caused the plane to crash. The plane could not come into alignment with the altitude that it needed to be on to fly safely, so the baggage brought it down, okay? So the same thing happens when you are trying to manifest good things, okay? And you're doing all of this work, but you're doing the wrong work. That's why the work don't work. That's why the math ain't mathing. It's because you're not doing the correct work, the uprooting work, the getting rid of the baggage type of work, okay? So you can only elevate but so high, right? And in order to align with your desires, you have to raise your frequency, you have to raise your vibration in order to align. So if you are vibrating here, right, but everything that you want is here and you're being weighed down by baggage, how are the two going to align? It's not, okay? And that's when people start to feel as though the math ain't mathing. That's when people start to feel as though the manifestation process or the law of attraction doesn't work. Oh my God, it's a law, okay? It's not going nowhere. It has forever been here, okay? And whether you are practicing it intentionally or not, it's still working, right? Because what you're doing, you want to manifest this, but you're only manifesting this, so it's still the law of attraction. Because even at this level, you're able to attract the things that are vibrating on the same level. And they may not be the things that you actually want, but it's still the law of attraction. So whether you feel as though you are intentionally practicing it or not, it's still working. And so what tends to happen with these folk, right, these spiritual people, they say, oh my God, I am spiritual and I'm not attached to any religion, right? And I'm just gonna put flowers in my hair and walk barefoot and hug trees, okay? But see what they don't know, all right? Because they let the people tell them, the people on the internet, they let the people say, you need to open your third eye. You need to awaken your Kundalini energy. Okay? They don't know what the third eye is from the Kundalini. Okay? They like the linguini. Who? Oh, I like linguini. That sounds good. So let me go ahead and do what the people say I need to do in order to awaken this Kundalini energy. I need to align all of my chakras. And then what starts to happen is, right, they do all the work that people tell them to do. They set up altars. Altars are portals. And most of y'all don't know how to properly open and close a portal. So what happens is you leave the portal open, and then all of these different energies start to come in, and things start to happen because your third eye is open and your kundalini has been awakened, and then things start to dart on the side of your eye, out of the corner of your eye, and you start to hear things, and you start to see things, and you start to smell things, and then shit just seems to be falling apart in your world. It's because you did what people said to do, but you didn't know what you were doing. You were just trusting that they knew what they were talking about, but you were not spiritually mature nor ready to experience said things. So now your world all fucked up, okay? And you feel like everything is evil and I'm being tortured and tormented by these energies. No, you're not. I mean, you could be. It's a thing. But chances are you're not. You're just so afraid, right? Because you have opened yourself up to things that you are not aware of, okay? That you're not really educated on. So when you open up your third eye, friend, you start to align with energies that you can't see here on this dimension, in the third dimension, right? Because we live in a multi-dimensional universe, okay? Allegedly, we vibrate on the 3D, okay? Some people say the 4D, some people say whatever, we're just gonna roll with the 3D, right? And there are other energies that vibrate higher on higher dimensions, okay? So when you start to open up yourself to these energies, you start to elevate and you start to vibrate higher and you start to align with the same frequencies that these different energies are on. So you start to see and hear because you are either on, you've elevated to their level or they've been brought down to your level. But either way, y'all can see, we see each other, right? Y'all start to see each other and you're afraid because you don't know what it is, and you start to think that everything is not evil. Everything is not the devil, right? When we pass on from this edifice, right? Hopefully, if you learn the lessons that you were put on this earth to learn, you will elevate, right? You leave this body and your essence elevates, aka it goes to heaven. It's just going to another dimension. It's vibrating higher, right? Because this edifice keeps us down, okay? But when we pass away, we get to elevate higher, or some energies go lower, right? To aka hell, but it's just a lower dimension, okay? And so when you're spiritually ignorant, you start to open yourself up to these things, right? And then it becomes scary. So then people say that the law of attraction is evil and the new age is evil and this, that, and the third. But it's not. You just didn't know what you was doing, fam. You didn't know what you was doing. And you scared the shit out yourself. That's what happened, okay? So let that be a lesson to all of you who feel as though you want to open up the kundalini, open up your third eye. No, you do not. You need to go sit your ass down somewhere, okay, and take baby steps and really learn what it means to open your third eye. Learn what it really means to open up that kundalini energy. It's not all shits and giggles, right? All right? Because it can get real ugly and very scary if you are not careful. You have to know how to guard and protect yourself when you start to do those things, okay? All right? One of the laws, first of all, we need to start studying what the law of attraction is, okay? I want you guys to research all of the universal laws, but start with the law of attraction, because if you are one of them people who feel like the law of attraction is evil, girl, you don't know what the law of attraction is, and that's where you need to start. And then I want you to study the law of replacement, because part of this spiritual walk is purging, right? It's dealing with trauma. Some people call it the dark night of the soul, all right? And then their whole life fall apart because spirit likes to strip you down and build you back up. So that's why people feel like, oh, the law of attraction just fucked up my life. No, you needed to do that work, all right? Because that's the baggage. You have to get rid of the baggage in order to get to the promised land and be able to manifest on the level that you want, right? So when you start to get rid of the baggage, there's something that comes into place that's called the law of replacement. Okay, so when you're getting rid of stuff, you have to be intentional about what you replace the baggage with. Because if you are not intentional and you leave it up to chance, then any and everybody can come in and dump on you and take more negative energy, right, and beliefs, and replace the old baggage with new bullshit, right? So study the law of replacement and make sure that when you are doing this work that you are replacing the baggage with good stuff, with good beliefs, okay? That's going to be very, very important. But all of the spiritual laws are important to know through and through. And when you know those things, coupled with, side note, studying your birth chart, your life will just be so much better. You'll understand you more, you'll understand the universe more, and you'll understand how to manifest your true desires easily and more effortlessly, right? Okay, don't be one of them people that start dibbling and dabbling into magic, because that seems to be the natural progression. People become spiritual, right? And they study the law of attraction, manifestation, and then they want to get into magic. And I love magic. I think magic is amazing. However, too much of anything can be bad, right? So if you get into the wrong type of magic and you're not protecting yourself and you're doing shit you ain't got no business doing, okay, then you're gonna have a problem, okay? And then you're gonna start to be that person that says the law of attraction is evil, magic is evil. It can be, but it's only that way if you open yourself up to said energy, okay? So don't be that person. Don't get to creating altars, burning candles, working with herbs and things like that if you don't know what you're doing yet, okay? This takes months, if not years, of study to make sure that you're doing it correctly so that you're not bringing in anything over into this realm that's going to attach to you. You have to be careful. But if you didn't went out in these spiritual streets and effed up, do not blame the spiritual universal laws. It's not their fault. God didn't do that to you. You and your ignorance did. So make sure that you educate yourself. Even if you are, in church, right? There's a lot of people in church that are still spiritually ignorant because they don't pick up the Bible and read it for themselves and comprehend it for themselves. So they are spiritually ignorant. So the pastor can say A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, at 11:11, the sky is going to fall, and the people of the congregation going to believe them because they're not reading the word for themselves. So it's the same thing in this spiritual walk, in this woke walk, or this new age walk. It's the same thing. You have to educate yourself. Don't take my word for it, okay? Don't take anyone's word for it. You have to learn it for yourself. And that way, when things start to happen, you don't just call them evil. You say, oh, that's manifesting because of a trauma that I have to face head on. It has nothing to do with the spiritual law or the universal law. I did good. I didn't curse that much. I wasn't fussing. But when I was really thinking about recording this video, girl, I was hot, right? Because I'm very passionate about teaching, and I just get so pissed when people are out here scaring folk and taking their ignorance and projecting it onto their viewers and their audience. It's just not fair. So again, learn everything for yourself, okay? The law of attraction is not evil. Just because you don't intentionally practice it doesn't mean it stops working. Okay? That's it. That's all.